I'm Governor Larry Hogan. Our state is taking unprecedented and aggressive actions in the fight to stop the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic here in Maryland. As you know, I recently issued a stay-at-home directive to ensure that no Marylander leaves his or her home unless it is for an essential job or for an essential purpose. I know how difficult this is on each and every one of you. There's a great deal of fear and anxiety, and the truth is that none of us really know how bad this is going to get or how long it's going to last. But I can promise you that there are a great many dedicated people doing tremendous things, working around the clock, and doing their very best to help keep Marylanders safe. In the days to come, we're going to need to depend on each other, to look out for one another, and to take care of each other, because we are all in this together, and we will get through this together.
This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Friday, April 24th, 2020. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Yesterday afternoon, the Anne Arundel County Fire Department responded to a house fire in the 1700 block of Crofton Parkway in Crofton. They were dispatched at about 2:15 p.m. to 1733 Crofton Parkway after receiving numerous 911 calls about a house fire. On arrival, crews were met with heavy fire on the second floor of a single-family home. 36 firefighters from Anne Arundel County, Prince George's County, Annapolis City, and the NSA Annapolis Fire Department all assisted there, and it took about 20 minutes to put it under control. 2 firefighters were injured in fighting the blaze, one from Prince George's County and one from Anne Arundel County, and they were both transported to the burn center at MedStar Washington Hospital Center in Washington, D.C. There has been no cause of the fire, nor has there been a damage estimate, but one person was displaced. Yesterday morning, Governor Larry Hogan announced the appointment of Dana Jones to the Maryland General Assembly. That was based on the recommendation of the Anne Arundel County Democratic Central Committee, and she will represent District 30A in Anne Arundel County, filling the seat vacated by Alice Kane, who resigned her seat after this session. Now, if you'd like to know a little bit more about Dana Jones, you can go to Senator Sarah Elfreth's Facebook page. Last night, she held a Meet the New Delegate Zoom call on her Facebook page. It is there. So last about an hour, you can learn a little bit about our new delegate here who's been appointed to service for the rest of the term. But there is a lot of controversy surrounding her appointment there. The Arundel Patriot has uncovered that one of her votes from the Democratic Central Committee may have been illegal according to their bylaws. And when they called them out on it, they discovered that they had changed up some different documents and replaced some documents that were there before. They do have screenshots and everything else, so stay tuned. There may be some controversy boiling there. If you are self-employed, an independent contractor, a gig worker, a sole proprietor, or maybe you just don't have a sufficient work history, today is your day. The Maryland Department of Labor is releasing their Beacon, which is a one-stop application for Marylanders to file claims for unemployment. This does include the gig workers, the independent contractors, self-employed, sole proprietors, etc. What you have to do is you have to go to mdunemployment.com and get that underway. You will need to know your social security number, date of birth, addresses, pretty much all the basic information. And documentation that you're going to need will include any income that you earned in 2019, which would be a K-1, a Form 1099, or a summary of any quarterly tax payments that you've done, any necessary licenses and permits for your self-employment, and proof of an offer to begin employment that was postponed or withdrawn because of the COVID-19 pandemic. If successful, you will be eligible for up to 39 weeks of unemployment from the state of Maryland, as well as that additional $600 per week from the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation Program. That does only run through July 25th on that extra $600. Again, the website you want to go to this morning is mdunemployment.com. And you want to head on over to eyeonannapolis.net and check out the letter that James King, who is the owner of the Blackwall Hitch and the Green Turtles in the area, the Roy Rogers, And he really had some harsh words for the PPP program as it relates to restaurants. He said it just makes it like digging in the dumpster. Two of the main points that he pointed out were that the profit margins of restaurant industries are extremely low, yet the fixed costs are extremely high. And if you'll remember, the PPP program was to offset payroll. In his letter, he stated that we've got very high costs, we've got provisions, we've got leases, we've got equipment, and payroll is not necessarily the big cost it is as it is in some other industries. One thing that he did mention, which made all the sense in the world, is that why would a tipped employee want to come back to work when they're making more money on unemployment? He set out an example of making $440 in Maryland unemployment plus $600 from the federal. Why would you want to come back to work at a restaurant that was forcibly shut down and there are no customers to serve and no customers to tip you? And even if it was open, possibly during Governor Hogan's reopening of Maryland, at half capacity. He makes some very, very good points there. And on that PPP, the House just signed off on the latest legislation that's going to bring about $310 million back into the PPP program. You've got to be ready and you've got to be fast. The last one went in 1 week, and this one is a little bit less than the last one. And they have added a few different hoops that you need to jump through, like having your 2019 info. So if you have not filed your taxes for 2019, because that has been extended, you may have some more hoops to jump through. President Trump is expected to sign that pretty quickly, so you would expect the money to start flowing fairly quickly, so you want to make sure you're on board with your bank to jump on that as quickly as possible. Again, I do feel that that's going to go away very quickly. All right, that does wrap it up for us this weekend. Not a lot going on, so we don't have a things to do Friday. So get out, enjoy the fresh air this weekend. Saturday looks like your best day to do that. Sunday looks like it could be a little bit of a washout. You need to hang tight. We've got George Young with your local DMV weather forecast coming up in a minute, and he'll set you all straight on that. But first, a quick message from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, Marylanders. This is Rick Peters from Solar Energy Services in Millersville, Maryland, wishing you good health and a rapid return to prosperity. Uncertainty is one of the hardest parts of our current situation. As we move towards our new normal, you may want to consider adding more certainty to your financial future by locking in the low cost of clean solar energy. The economics of solar are tremendous, and there's no better source than the trusted team at Solar Energy Services. Residential solar projects typically earn the homeowner 8 to 12% annually over the life of the system, with even better returns for commercial systems. If you have some downtime now, take advantage of our powerful remote design capabilities, allowing one of our experienced solar designers to provide a presentation, followed by a detailed, accurate proposal, all from a safe distance. Call us today at 410-923-6090 or visit us at solarsaves.net. Sunshine's are wasted, but together we'll get through this.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Friday, April 24th. Yesterday wasn't too bad around the Annapolis region with temps near 60 and a few PM showers, but today might officially be not so great on the whole, with many places in Anne Arundel County seeing 1 inch or more of rain when all is said and done. Then a brief break tomorrow with more 60s before rain returns late Saturday and lasts into much of Sunday, if not early Monday morning, with maybe another inch or more of rain before 1 or 2 dry days early next week, ahead of a third rain event Wednesday into Thursday. So grab the umbrellas and pullovers and keep them both nearby, as the next week is likely to be a wet one for the region. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great weekend out there. Stay healthy and be safe. And be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DCMDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Store. And also be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter and on our website at dmvweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
This is Brian Griffiths, the founder of Maryland Podcast Month. Maryland Podcast Month was founded in 2018 to draw attention to all of the great podcasts and podcasters here in Maryland. And during this time of social distancing, there is no better time to start learning more about locally produced podcasts. Shows like my podcast, Red Maryland Radio, Eye on Annapolis, the Conduit Street Podcast, JB's Drive-In Podcast, the Maryland Crabs, Quality Time, the Society Fringe Players, and more are still putting out fresh content. Visit MarylandPodcastMonth.com to learn more about these great Maryland podcasts. That's MarylandPodcastMonth.com. And we thank you for your support of local content.
Whether it's a fire, a hurricane, or a virus, Annapolis comes together. We've done it time and time again, because this is a town that gets it, a town that knows how to lift each other up when the world falls down. As we face this new challenge, I encourage our community to come together as we've always done. I'm Steve Samaras from Zachary's Jewelers. I pledge to lend a hand to support my family, my team, my neighbors, and the small businesses in our town. Together, let's do what we've always done.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.